You got it. These are all parabolas. What are they?
A U-shaped.
Excellent. U-shaped symmetrical curve. So what I want you to do before we discuss, we're going to be discussing the features of each of these parabolas. There's parts of it that we're going to label and we're going to discuss them. If it's symmetrical, what does that mean? What does symmetrical mean? When you fold it, for example, one side is identical to the other side. One side is a mirror image of the other. So can you guys draw a line of symmetry through these parabolas on your paper? Draw the line of symmetry. Would you say that that's the line of symmetry? This side is equal to that side? No. So where would you draw the line of symmetry? You learn right here. This would be the line of symmetry, right? You would say that this side of the parabola is identical to that side of the parabola, correct? I want you to highlight the point at the highest point or the lowest point, which touches the line of symmetry, right? That's the highest point, okay? So this parabola has a maximum value. I want you to write that word down. If you're drawing the parabola like this, once I get to that point, it can't go any higher, right? If it goes higher, then it's not going to be a parabola. That's the highest point, so it has a maximum value. What about for the second one? Draw your line of symmetry and highlight the, is it a highest or lowest point? This one also has a maximum value. And for the other parabola, the last one, does it have a maximum or a minimum value? Erika? Minimum. Good. There's your minimum value. So do you remember how we describe this? Let's call this parabola A, B, and C. Does parabola A open up or down? It opens down. I want you to write that word here as well. B opens up or down? And C opens up or down? If you forget which word to use, look at the word up. It starts with a U. Does that look like the parabola? Right? Up. Okay, because you will, it means that the parabola cannot go any lower than this point. That's going to be the lowest point on the parabola. If you were to figure out the coordinates of the parabola, this point here is the lowest it can go. Because it goes like this, and then all of a sudden it changes direction and it goes back up again. It can't go lower than this point. This one can't go higher than that point, and that one can't go higher than the point. So actually, that's a good question. Let's label the coordinates of those points. I want you guys to actually write down, where are those points located? So the first one, it's counting by, this is 0, this is -1, it's counting by ones, right? And the y-axis is counting by ones. So where is this point located on your graph? What is the coordinate? -1, right? You have to go across and then up. 4, yes. So the coordinate of that point is -1, 4, right? What's the coordinate of this point? This is 0. This is the origin. So it's at -4 and what? -1. Does everyone see that? We're just labeling the coordinates. So for C, remember again, this is the origin. So the coordinate is located at 2, 0, right? Did everyone get that for that coordinate? Okay, so we've talked about the maximum and minimum value. These coordinates that we just labeled are referred to as the vertex. Vertex, okay? How would you describe the vertex to me? For question A, we said it had a maximum value, right? What is the highest point of that parabola? What number gives you the highest point? It can't pass what part of the graph? 4. So the maximum value equals 4, right? Look at your coordinate of the vertex. Look at your y value of the vertex. Yeah, it's a maximum y value, exactly. For this one, here's our y-axis. What was the maximum value of that parabola? It can't go past what point? -1, exactly. Excellent. Do you see how the vertex connects to the maximum or minimum value? This one has a minimum value. What's the lowest point it reaches for the y value? 0. It doesn't go below 0. Does that make sense? Here's a clue. If I draw this parabola, where's the vertex? Right here, let's say. If I draw this parabola, where's the vertex? Right here. If I draw a parabola like this, where would the vertex be? It's at the point where you have your line of symmetry, right? It's also at the point where you have your maximum or minimum value, right? It's also at the point where the parabola changes direction. Look at this. The parabola is going down, 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 stop, and then all of a sudden it has to go up. It's increasing, stop, then all of a sudden it's decreasing. So the vertex is at the point where it changes direction. The vertex can tell you where the symmetry line is, and the vertex can tell you where the minimum or maximum value is, the highest or lowest point, right? Does that make sense? Does anyone know what this line is called? I called it a line of symmetry, but it's actually referred to as an axis of symmetry. Okay, so you're going to label the vertex of this parabola, this one. You're going to write down the axis of symmetry, the y-intercept. So we didn't talk about that, but that's the point where the parabola hits the y-axis. You're going to say if it has a maximum or minimum value and what it is. And you're going to label the x-intercept. So that's the point where it hits the x-axis. So let's highlight the axis of symmetry first. Draw your axis of symmetry. Would you agree that it's here? It goes through the vertex, right? So your equation of your axis of symmetry, where does it, so your equation for your axis of symmetry is x equals, it's always what x is equal to. If I go through the axis of symmetry, what is the x value of my axis of symmetry? What is x equal to? Well, first of all, what's the coordinate of your vertex? Everyone should have got the coordinate of the vertex. What is it? -2, -8, which means that this axis of symmetry is going through the point of what? What's the x value? -2. Look at your graph. Here's -2 on the graph. Do you see that? That's it for the axis of symmetry. The axis of symmetry is equal to -2. If I were to tell you on a graph, put a line through -2. You're putting a line through -2, which means you're putting a line through the middle of the parabola, basically. The y-intercept is the point where the parabola hits the y-axis. So it's right here. Where does it hit the y-axis? -6. Does it have a maximum or minimum value? If it opens up, put this on your paper, it has a minimum value. If it opens down, it has a maximum value. So the lowest point, so minimum value, is where? If you're not sure, you can look at the graph, or you can just use your vertex. Which value of the vertex is it? -2 or -8? -8. So the minimum y value equals -8. Raise your hand if you got that one. X-intercepts are the points where the parabola hits the x-axis. This is my x-axis. The parabola hits it here and here. It's going to have two intercepts in this case, right? Because it's symmetrical. So what are the two x-intercepts? What is this? What is this one? -6 is this one. So you can write it two ways. You can write -6 and what's this one? 2. Or you can write it as a coordinate, -6, 0 and 2, 0. I'll accept either of those answers. If you just put -6, 2, that is incorrect. Because you're telling me it's at -6, 2, which is here. That's a coordinate. That's not an x-intercept, okay? So please make sure you write it in the proper format. Okay, let's do this one together. Did everyone finish this example? Where is the vertex located? Where's the vertex? What's the coordinate of it? 4, 3. So what is the axis of symmetry? Axis of symmetry is x equals? Yes, 4. Good. Excellent. Where's the y-intercept? -9. Perfect. Does this have a max or min value? Max. What is the maximum y value? What is the highest point? 3. And what are the x-intercepts? 2 and 6. So we can write it as 2, 0 and 6, 0. Or you can write 2 and 6. I'll accept either one.